Welcome to Craft Club for Kids. Today we're going to make an Advent wreath. To get started, we're going to make the wreath, so you need a ruler, pencil, glue, scissors, and a green piece of paper for your wreath. You're going to move your things aside, and you want to take your green piece of paper, put it down in front of you with the long side left to right and the shorter side top to bottom. Then you're going to go from the very bottom and fold it all the way to the top, matching up your corners. You want it nice and organized and neat. And when you're done, you're going to have a skinnier rectangle. Then you're going to do the same thing, going from the bottom and pulling up to the top. You're going to match up the corners so you are getting another rectangle that is even smaller and skinnier. Once you have that, you open it up and you're going to notice a fold line. Now, from the top, your page will open. So here you can see that it opens. And at the very bottom, facing you, it's going to close. You want to keep it that way. Now you're going to grab your ruler and your pencil. You're going to line it up right where the fold line is, and you are going to trace over top. So put your pencil right down on your page, trace right over top, and now you'll have a line where the actual fold line is. You're now going to use your ruler to draw some dots. Now I'm using centimeters, but you can use inches as well. I'm lining up my 0 right at the beginning, and I'm putting a dot right on that line every 2 centimeters. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I'm going to go all the way across. If you're using inches, you can go ahead and use 1 inch. So centimeters, you're going to do every 2. Inches, you'll do every inch. So you'll put a dot on every inch, and when you're done, you'll have a whole bunch of little dots all along that line, the fold line. Now we're going to go top to bottom and draw lines. Now not the very top where it opens, but you're going to go from the middle to the bottom where it closes. So put your ruler down right from the dot and go from that middle dot all the way to the bottom. Middle dot all the way to the bottom. So you're going from each dot that you made, you're making straight lines. So here they are, nice straight lines, doing the very best that you can, and you're just going to keep going all the way to the very end. Keep going, every single dot, go straight down. If you make a mistake, erase it and try again. It's not a problem. Okay, once you have all your lines, you are ready to do some cutting on these lines. Now when you're cutting, see how you have that top and that opens, and the bottom is going to be held together. So hold the bottom together. You are going to now cut. So cut right to the line. You want to go right on that line, right to the middle. So right where the fold line is, that's where you're going to stop. So be careful to go right to the fold line and stop. You don't want to go past it. You don't want to go below it. You want to keep cutting right to the fold line and stop. And you're going to continue all the way. So just keep cutting, doing your very best. You're going to notice that there's little flaps now where all the cutting is, and that's okay. Just keep cutting. If something isn't perfectly straight, don't worry. Just keep going and fix it for the next one. Okay, keep cutting. We're almost there, almost at the end. So just keep going. When you reach the last one, then you are going to put your scissors down for a moment, and there you go. You're going to find that folded part that opened at the top, and you're going to open it up. Once you open it up, you'll notice, see, there's all the cuts in the middle, but you'll notice at the very bottom, the last flap is flat. There are no cut lines on here. With that, you're going to fold it back over, so just use the fold line and just fold it back over top. So it's going to go over half of the cut lines that you've already created. And then you're going to grab some glue, and you're going to put glue on the top of that. So just where you fold it over, you're going to put glue down on the top. I'm using a glue stick, but you can use whatever glue that you have. Once you have your glue on, this is where you are going to glue that portion to, not the little stripe, but here over to the, way over to the other side. So you want to go way over to the other part that isn't cut. So say all the way to the other side, and you're going to fold those together. See how they don't have any cut lines and they go together? So there it is. It's hard to get it, so I just flip it over and I stick my hands in and I stick my hands between the little cuts just to make sure that it glues down. Stick my hands on each side, and ta-da, there you go. It should all be sealed. And you can see with the little cuts, you'll be able to roll it. So all I'm gonna do is kind of roll one end to the other. And when you do that, you just have to kind of just put your hands in there, make it a little bit pliable so it moves. See that all of your little spaces will be able to move a little bit. It is paper, so be gentle. And now we want to seal it. So put a little bit of glue on one end. Doesn't matter which end. Put a little glue on one end and you're going to roll it. So now that you've rolled it once, it's going to be easier to roll this time. You're going to roll it and you're going to stick the one end just kind of inside of the other end. So just stick it inside a little bit and hold it down. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be a little overlapping, but that's okay. You want to hold that down and just rub, 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 rub because you want it to stick. If it doesn't stick, put a little bit more glue in and try again. And ta-da! There you go, you have a wreath. Now to turn this wreath into an Advent wreath, we're going to need some additional construction paper colors. I'm going to need purple, pink, and some yellow. So here we're going to make candles that will go inside of our Advent wreath. And to do that, all I'm going to use is my ruler again. I'm just going to use the one end of my ruler and trace right over top of it. Doesn't really matter how tall you make them. You just want to make sure that you make all of your candles the same. So all I'm doing is using one end going up the side, over the top, and down the other side, and I'm making three purple candles. I'm going to do the same thing with my pink. Just make sure it's the same height. And then I'm going up one side of my ruler, across the top, and down the other side, and that way all of my candles will be exactly the same. And I'm going to grab my scissors, and I am going to cut those out. You just cut them all out so that when you're done, you'll have 3 purple candles, and you will have 1 pink candle. Okay, once all of your candles have been cut out, we're ready to do some gluing. So I'm going to grab my purple candle, first one, and I'm going to put glue at the very bottom. Once I have glue at the bottom, I'm going to take my wreath and I'm going to place it. I'm going to just put mine right here, and just know wherever you're putting your first candle, the other one goes right across from it. So then I'm going to take my second candle, put a little bit of glue at the bottom. This is my purple one, and right across, directly across, I'm going to glue my second candle. So there they are, across from one another. Grab your next candle. I'm going to put glue at the bottom, and this time I am going to put them the opposite way. So top to bottom again, one across from the other. So there's my purple candle. And finally, we're putting glue at the bottom of our pink candle, and it's going to go right across from your last purple candle. So right across. And there you go. You have all of your candles for your Advent wreath. We have 3 purple, 1, 2, 3, and a pink candle. Now we're going to use the yellow piece of paper, and we are going to create the little flame on top. So I'm going to fold it once, and then I'm going to fold it again. That will enable me to draw and cut once, and I'll end up with 4 tiny little flames. I'm going to start at the top and draw the tip of a triangle, and then at the bottom just kind of round it off. Then once you have your little flame, you are going to cut that out, and because you folded it, when you cut once, you're going to end up with 4 congruent little flames. And then you're going to put a little dab of glue at the end of each one and glue them right onto each of your candles. Now during Advent, you would glue one on each week, starting with your first purple candle. Then you would move to your second purple candle. You would move to the third week, which is your pink candle, and you would end off with your final candle, which would be the final purple one. But for today, I'm just going to light all of them. And there's your Advent wreath. Thank you for joining me on Craft Club for Kids. Remember, be creative and have fun.